Hello everybody, my name is Dang and this is my series of practicing English and this is part 2. In this part 2 I will read an article related to my major at school, that is physics, and the topic today is E equals mc squared. Energy can be transformed or changed from one type to another. For example, an apple hanging on a tree has potential energy, or the energy of position. As it falls, it loses potential energies because its weight decreases. At the same time, it gains kinetic energy, or the energy of motion, because its velocity increases. Potential energy is being transformed into kinetic energy. Frequently, the transfer of energy involves a transfer from one body to another. When you lift up a rock, you are changing the chemical energy of your blood, your food you have eaten, into muscle energy. As you lift the rock high, your muscle energy is changing into rock's potential energy. When energy is transformed from one type to another, or transferred from one body to another, no energy is lost. When we measure energy, we discover that the total amount remains intact. Suppose we repair, cooked, and then ate some food. If we were to measure carefully all the energy that remains at the end of this process, such as potential, kinetic, and heat, we will always find exactly the same amount of energy as we started with, such as chemical and potential. Energies can thus be converted from one form to another, but never created or destroyed. This is called law of conservation of energy. Matter, like energy, can be converted from one form to another, but neither be created or destroyed. In 1785, the French chemist Antoine Lavoisier demonstrated that there is no gain or loss of mass in chemical change. For example, when a piece of wood is burned, ashes remain. At the same time, the wood combines with oxygen in the air to form carbon dioxide and water vapor, which pass into the air. If the carbon dioxide and water vapor and ashes are added together, the total wave will equal the original wave of wood plus the oxygen in the air. Thus, there is no change in the total mass. This is called law of conservation of mass. Many years later, Albert Einstein theorized that the conservation of energies is not distinct from the conservation of mass. Thus, there is a single law, the law of conservation of matter and energy. He predicted that matter could be changed into energy, vice versa. This concept is expressed in his famous equation that E equals mc squared, where E represents the amount of energy, M is the amount of matter, and C is the constant equal to the speed of light. Einstein's theory proved to be valid in 1939 when it was discovered that enormous amount of energy could be released by lifting uranium atoms. The process called fission. When an uranium or plutonium atom is split apart, it gives off neutrons that in turn split over atoms. This chain reaction takes place very rapidly and released a huge amount of energy, resulting in the explosion and atomic bomb. Although it may seem strange, a process that is the exact opposite of fission can also release great quantities of energy under conditions of intense heat, such as are found at the center of the sun. Hydrogen atoms combine to form helium atom. The transformation of hydrogens into heliums is called fusion. When a fusion takes place, the hydrogen atoms lose a small amount of mass, which transfer into energy. Fusion produced on the Earth results in a hydrogen bomb, which is much more powerful than the original atomic bomb. But the principle of fusion can also be used to produce energy for peaceful purpose that supply all of the needs of human race for a long time. And this is the end of today.